Oh, well, welcome back to the second hour of the Vocal Local. I wonder, you may guess, we have got two really special guests. They have been on the Vocal Local before, and it's absolutely brilliant to have you back again after 6 months, Amy.
Thank you.
6 months.
Hello.
So we've got Amy and Rupert the dog, and they are from Pets as Therapy. Lovely to welcome you.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
So, coming up, we'll have a chat regarding what Amy's been up to in the last 6 months and where she's been to in the hospitals and how the patients pet Rupert and how it makes everybody feel a lot better. It's the minute you get a dog in a place, it's just a different feeling. It's a different feeling. Anyway, let's have a little track and then we'll have a chat. Yes. Renee and Renata, that's Save Your Love. Save your love for me. Well, time passes, doesn't it? It goes on and on from February. And I believe you're going in for an award in February.
Yeah, so we haven't been on since February. It's crazy how the time flies. But we were nominated for the Volunteer of the Year award for the Sheffield Hospital's NHS Trust, and we were then shortlisted, which is an achievement in itself, really.
Yeah.
We
it's a bit like Oscars.
Yeah, well, yes.
Nominations to
shortlisted, red carpet waiting. So yeah, it was quite fun actually, because in the build-up, we had to do a little bit of filming for a little, I suppose, video like they do on the, Oscars, soap awards, things like that, and when they put the nominees are, and then put the videos up.
Right.
So we had to do some filming prior to that,
where was this?
Oh, it was in the hospital. It was in the hospital. It was somebody following us round on our one of our visits, and so us doing what we do best. Well, particularly Rupert, anyway.
A big presentation night.
Yeah, it was really. There's lots and lots of people there. It was at the Cutlers in town, so it was. It was. A really nice venue, and obviously so many people there.
Bit nervous then?
I was all right, to be honest. I was just like, this is great. It's something new, something different. And yeah, we had a really nice evening. We were highly commended. The winner, the two other ladies in the group, there was obviously the top three, and they were phenomenal with what they were doing and what they had been doing. Really well deserved. So, I mean, the fact that we've only been doing it a year and there's nearly 400 volunteers in the trust,
there is.
We felt, wow, but I must admit, we did put all our visits into number format, I suppose, kind of as a what would you call it? Maybe a year-end review, I suppose. And just some of those numbers, obviously these have gone up now since then, given that we're nearly into September. But we've done 59 2-hour visits to the Northern General across the year, which when I work full time, it's quite substantial, really.
Not only that, there's your travelling time and everything.
Yeah, exactly that. We did.
That's like, it's giving at least half a day every week.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
which is quite a lot.
It's quite a lot, really. But you know what? I mean,
for a full-time worker at that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I mean, we visited 64. Oh, Rupert's coming to try and say hello. You want the microphone? Yeah. He might have just got him panting then. Hopefully he did. That's Rupert saying hello. Seeing as though he's the main...
Oh.
Sorry. Lost connection. Seeing as though he's the main attraction. He wanted to say hello, but then's messing the microphone up. But yeah, so we went over 64, different areas in that time period, which is obviously, again, significant. And so many people, but just for anybody listening, Rupert currently is
It's on my knee.
he's on Gary's knee and absolutely loving the attention, because he knows that I'm not going to break off and tell him to get down because I'm
I
talking.
suppose I better not do that, because we'll talk about what you can and can't do later in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So they've all those areas and departments have benefited massively in so many different ways, and obviously we sometimes will do a typical visit. Obviously for anybody who's new to kind of pets as therapy, we'll go to different areas in turn. So we usually do 2 hours maximum. That's obviously Rupert doesn't get too overwhelmed. And we'll usually do about 3 or 4 different areas in that. And we'll see a whole mix, really. We'll see patients and we'll see staff, relatives included as well. And obviously we nip out here and there for breaks and for Rupert to go to the toilet, etc. And it's all about reading his body language, making sure that obviously he's happy during the visit. Sometimes he can be a little bit flat, so that's when we kind of say, we're on our way out now, or we're going out for a break and see if he gets a second wind. But I feel really kind of more knowledgeable on that now, have a lot of support and guidance from a lady called Caroline Clark, who is it's her business actually, pet education and training.
Right.
And she's based up in North Yorkshire, and she's provided a wealth of knowledge, to me over a long period of time.
Right.
So that really helps with making sure that obviously Rupert's welfare is at the forefront of the visits, because obviously he's there on pets as therapy visits to benefit the patients and staff and relatives, etc. But it is really important in that time that he's okay and he's happy and he's not worried about anything.
Yeah, that's right.
So for example, just to kind of, put that in context, quite maybe an extreme example, but we were heading out of the Huntsman entrance at the Northern the other week, and I think just as we were approaching the doors, the air ambulance started back up.
Yeah.
And obviously that was a very loud noise. He was quite interested at first, looking, quite aware, ears were up, tail were up, looking round, and then didn't pull, but just walked round and guided me back inside as if to say, no, we're not going out yet. I'm a little bit concerned. And obviously, I didn't proceed outside. I went back, kind of inside and, gave him a few treats, and we went a different way and we just waited then, because obviously he was scared,
Yeah.
So it's rare. There's not many situations where he is unsure, but that's one, and that's where it's really important on pets as therapy visits that the dog's welfare is at the forefront. But it's certainly very positive for him. I mean, he absolutely
and
loves
the
it.
volunteer that's leading the dog or whatever pet it is well trained.
Yeah, definitely. So it's coming back up. He coming then? Come on then. Come and say hello. Don't touch the microphone this time. Yep, I'm sure you might have got him panting there again. He wants his little kind of moment as well, bless him, and so he should. So yeah, so he was highly commended, bless him, and we've been busy, very busy since, to be honest. Lots has happened since. So but I think we'll go into a request.
We'll go into a request,
Yeah.
kindly collected by our Paul Gibson. He's a volunteer here at Sheffield Hospital Radio, and he goes in on Mondays and Tuesdays, mainly Tuesdays up at the Northern, and he's collected all these requests for us, and here's Amy with the first one.
Yeah, so thank you to Paul Gibson for collecting our requests this week. Paul had cause to be at the Hallamshire Minor Injuries Unit and met Donna, a nurse at the unit. Paul and all of us at Sheffield Hospital Radio send our thanks for your care, Donna, and that of all the staff on the minor injuries unit. Here for Donna is a favourite, Take On Me. And that was Take On Me by Aha. That was for Donna on the minor injuries unit at the Sheffield Royal Hallamshire.
It's yours. Thank you for that, Amy. And so, come on, tell me what's been happening this summer.
Well, obviously we had the awards and that was all done with and lovely, and then been doing a few more visits, etc., in between obviously working and whatnot. And then, the summer itself, heat waves.
Yeah.
Heat waves. And Rupert, that's not been the best for Rupert, to be honest. Obviously, a long-haired dog, big dog. And come and tell him then, Rupert.
35
come
degrees.
and tell him. Yeah. So obviously, not the best, really. So obviously lots of mental stimulating activities for him. So obviously he's filled Kong, Frozen, etc. And then his other treat releasing toy and snuffle mats. He's had his swimming pool out in the garden, so he's been splashing and paddling and you name it, splashing me when I didn't quite expect it, and even though it were hot, it were a bit of a shock because it were really cold. But we've had some great fun. Oh, he's back up again. He's very interactive today, aren't you, Rupert? Come then.
He's
Good
a
lad.
good lad.
Good lad. So obviously still some visits on the cooler days, but obviously not all the areas in the hospitals are air conditioned.
No.
So it's tricky sometimes. If obviously it's not cool enough for him, and again it's his welfare at the forefront.
Who do you speak to regarding that then?
To be honest, it's more kind of I just look obviously at the weather, see how he is, and just kind of try and judge it really.
Make
because
a judgment.
because we've been around so many different areas, I kind of know which areas are more air conditioned than others.
Yeah.
Certainly critical care is air conditioned. It's lovely, in fact, in terms of obviously the temperature.
Yeah. Constant temperature.
If we have gone, obviously not in the height of it, but if we have gone and it's still been a little bit warm, we've ventured towards those areas that I know are actually cooler. Otherwise, obviously, we've not gone. And that's a lot of advice that Pets as Therapy, as the charity, put out themselves, because, again, it's important that the dog's welfare is at the forefront. And, it's making sure that, obviously, there's air conditioning in the car and not going anywhere where you're leaving them in the car and so on. So we've been quite tactful.
What about at home now? Have you got fans running and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, not quite got air conditioning, unfortunately, but
most people
fans...
haven't.
No, exactly, that's the
It's
thing, because
England.
we're not built for it, are we,
We're not
really?
used to it.
No, exactly. Maybe in the next kind of 10, 20
Yeah.
years or something, I think
Yeah.
things are changing quite rapidly, and maybe... we will have that sort of facility, but yeah, no, I'm not in a lovely air conditioned house at the moment. So it's just about him keeping as cool as possible. I'm quite fortunate in a way, though, that my lounge, when it is really hot, my lounge is actually really cool because of the position of the house.
Yeah.
So, and then obviously it's tiled, wooden floors, etc. So it's it's a bit more manageable for him. So yeah.
Would you like to read out our second request?
Yeah. Oh, let's go for it then. Oh, so this one's for James and Mark. So James and Mark are part of our fantastic paramedic ambulance teams, looking after all inbound patients to Sheffield hospitals. Not sure if it was James or Mark, but the request was for a bit of Sabbath. Here's Black Sabbath with Paranoid.
Oh, that stopped a bit quick.
So that was Paranoid by Black Sabbath. We weren't quite ready for that one, were we?
Don't be so petty, Rupert.
Well, he's the special guest of the show. Why not?
That's why we're here. So, competitions.
Yeah, we We entered another competition, you know. And that was for the brand Barber.
For jackets?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that kind of equipment.
Yeah, and they do lots of dog kind of items, you know, coats and leads and collars and all that sort of thing. Anyway, there was
I didn't know that.
yeah, there was a competition on the Barber Dog's Instagram, and it was the National Hero Dog of the month. And so to enter, obviously, you had to put a couple of different things in, and it said, "Why is your dog a hero?" So I thought, you know what? Why not? I'm going to share a little story, and you know, nothing to lose.
Yeah.
So I'll read you it. It's very short. So Rupert is a therapy dog, and there have been many standout moments in his voluntary work. However, one tearjerker. But brace yourselves. We were on critical care, and unfortunately, a patient had just passed away. We weren't in the room, but just on the corridor, when the nurse came to approach us and said that the family had requested to see Rupert. Obviously, this was quite out of my depth in a way, I suppose. Yeah. You know, I don't work in the medical profession. No. So, anyway, I did agree and kind of went with it. And they came out of the room, and the lady, the mother, dropped to her knees in tears, understandably. And Rupert was just so gentle. He calmly went up to her. He nuzzled in for a big hug. It was just like magic, really, to watch. And even though he's not meant to lick, because obviously therapy dogs shouldn't really lick, he started licking her tears away. Which then obviously just set us all off then. And you know how he is now, he's quite excited and whatnot. Yeah. It's like he just knew, you know, and yeah. So I just thought, you know what, I'm going to share that. And then it asked me to share kind of, you know, something daft about him and things like that, you know. Anyway, that was that. And then got an email actually just the other week saying, "Congratulations, Rupert is the winner." And I was like, "Oh, wow, okay, that's amazing." And so he's got a Barber coat and a Barber dog lead. And actually they've just arrived yesterday, which is why he had his other coat on today. But yeah,
special occasion.
So well, so that was lovely. You know, and that's a bit of a sneak preview because I hadn't even put that on his Instagram yet. To be honest, we've had that much going on.
Or it shows you where volunteering can take it.
Absolutely, it does. You know, and it's amazing, really, what things it can lead to, and you know what sort of things you can be part of, and yeah, it's brilliant. And I'd encourage anybody to, you know, get involved in both kind of Pets as Therapy volunteering, and also the volunteering at the hospital. It doesn't have to be pet related. It can be obviously in anything. I mean, on the Pets as Therapy front, another of my updates is I'm now an assessor for Pets as Therapy. And what that basically means is that if, for example, you wanted to, you know, get involved in doing the Pets as Therapy visits, I'm now in a position to be able for you to come, you know, to me, and me carry out that assessment, you know, and you're assessed as a team. So it's very much about the person and the dog, not just the dog and the temperament and how that dog reacts. It's certainly as a team. And then I pass on the report and the recommendations to Pets as Therapy, who then obviously make that final decision. There's some great advice on their website. If you type, obviously, Pets as Therapy into Google, you know, in terms of the types of things to work on or the types of things that we'll be looking for in that assessment. The key things are making sure that they're not jumping up and we're laughing because obviously he's jumping up a little bit now, but this is a different context. And that they don't, excessively lick or anything, and that obviously the temperament is one that is, kind of positive, and the dog wants to interact with people and whatnot. So yeah, there's lots of information on their website. So if anybody listening was thinking about, getting involved, I mention it as well because quite a few people who I do meet and speak to have said, "Oh, yeah, I'd quite fancy that." And so it's nice to just share, kind of a bit more about it and what's involved. And then obviously the Sheffield Teaching Hospitals volunteers as well. As I said before, they're not always, it's not obviously all pet therapy. There are so many different, kind of activities and different avenues in the volunteering for people to get involved with. And again, on the Sheffield Volunteers, Sheffield Teaching Hospital Volunteers website, under the Volunteers tab, there's so much information on there about the different roles, in like the arts and music and so forth.
And what's the website address for Pets Therapy?
It is, I believe, www.petsastherapy.org.
Yeah. And the application for volunteers here at Sheffield Teaching Hospitals is sth.nhs.uk/volunteer. sth.nhs.uk/volunteer. And what's our third request then, Amy?
Oh, excellent. I didn't even know this was coming through neither. And I know this lady. I know this lady really quite well, actually. So it's over to Northern General to Firth 2. Hello, Firth 2. Hello, everybody on Firth 2. And this is a big thank you to Della. She's like one of Rupert's super fans. She absolutely loves Rupert. And I really, really hope she has tuned in, her and Catherine and the rest of the team, because, they'll love it. So Della's request, this is a favourite, My Girl, The Temptations. Enjoy! So that was My Girl by the Temptations, and that was for Della, the ward sister on Firth 2, and the team there at Northern General Hospital. Well, we've just had...
We're going into...
Oh, Rupert!
Our supermodel out here.
We are. But, just before we do talk modelling, I just want to say we've had a message into the studio, and it's a big shout out actually to Karen and Lynette, and those two are in the clock tower at the Northern General, and it says here Rupert would be welcome to visit us anytime in the clinical operations office. Well, Karen and Lynette, I shall make your day, and I will make a visit very soon. Could maybe pop in after here, actually, if we have a little bit of time, although it might just have to be there.
Yeah.
Because even though I've got my badges, I ain't got my T-shirt, but I think I'll get away with that just for Karen and Lynette. And I'm sure...
It's only just inside.
Exactly. I'm sure they'll let me in and, be fine. So I bet they're really giddy right now.
Just to the right-hand side as you
so that's if... Obviously, they're not finishing like at 4 or anything, as long as they're finishing at 5. Yeah. So do get in touch if, obviously, you are finishing at 4, because, we'll not stop by them.
I'll get back on email as well.
Yeah, we'll find out, and hopefully that can give them a little boost for a very wet Thursday into, hopefully, a better Friday. So... Modelling. Wow. This is exciting, Gary. This is really exciting. So, Rupert obviously sees so many different people, and he is always told that he's a beautiful looking dog.
Oh, he is?
Well, Yeah, I suppose I would be inclined to agree. But, you know, when it's your own, you know. But anyway, so he is, and he takes an absolutely amazing photo. And we'll come on to photography because I've got a little bit of update on that. But he does, he takes a brilliant photo, and so much so that I thought, I've had a little bit of a change in my kind of career, my full-time work. I work obviously in education, as you know, so I'm still going to be in education, but I'm taking a little bit of a different path, so that I can make way for Rupert's modelling career. And yeah, so he's now registered with a modelling agency, and we're just waiting now. He went live yesterday on their website. All his photos and his kind of bio. And yeah.
It can't be too long before you start getting...
I hope not, and I'm hoping that the timing of it all is really good, because obviously golden retrievers are renowned as like a family dog, and with it starting to come up towards the winter
Christmas.
and creep into Christmas. Oh, can't believe we've mentioned Christmas in August, but forgive us, please.
I stood in Tesco, no?
Yeah, well, yeah, there should be a rule, I think. But anyway, moving on. So, but yeah, and so hopefully we've timed it really well. For him to kind of start, you know, moving into commercial business, adverts and whatnot. So we might just see him toddling across our TV screens. Obviously I will, when I'm allowed to, I will obviously let people know. And yeah, it's amazing actually. Next time, any listeners out there, next time when you're watching the telly, you know, take a little bit more notice of the adverts and see that actually, even if it's not advertising something dog related, you know, it could be a vacuum.
Yeah.
You know, it could be, I saw an advert the other day and it was an orange juice. I can't remember what brand, but it was an orange juice. But they wanted the context of obviously a family environment and so on. And there was a dog used for that. It's amazing actually how many things. Flash. You know, yeah, exactly. Flash mobs.
Other cleaners are available.
Yeah. So yeah. So we'll see. Watch this space. But how exciting. Yeah, but obviously I have to be available in the week. So obviously I will be still working in education, but, you know, have a bit more flexibility to an extent. So yeah, exciting times.
So for his next request, please.
Yep. So the next request is... So we've got Northern staff nurse who is actually staying at the Northern. This is for Mel, and she would love to hear a favourite. So here we have Tell It to My Heart by Taylor Dane. And that was Tell It to My Heart by Taylor Dane, and that was for staff nurse Mel, who is obviously in the Northern currently, and we wish you lots of get well soon wishes and good luck with your recovery.
Well, this is the Votal Lotal. We're heading up to 4 o'clock. It's got about 11 minutes left, and I'm here with Amy and Rupert the dog, and they're from Pets Therapy, and we've been talking about modelling. Let's have a bit of photography then, because I've got a few photos of, and you see, of Rupert, and you see he's very photographic, and he is. I know this is radio, but he is very photographic.
He is, absolutely. And I just think a picture can tell you so many things. You know, it's a bit like the old saying, a picture can paint 1,000 words. Yeah. You know, dogs give us so much more than I think we even realise sometimes, both just generally and in the Pets as Therapy visits. And I've always had quite an eye for photography, if I'm honest. I like a good picture. Get a lot of satisfaction out of a good picture, and especially when it's got dogs on. So that's another little venture of mine that I'm kind of starting to have a look at, a business in dog photography. So I'm busy bee, but we won't be we wouldn't have it any other way, to be honest. And obviously, in and amongst all that, we have our pets as therapy visits.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we love our time, obviously, doing the visits and making people's day and whatnot. And obviously, in between times, we post, well, I say we, obviously I post, Rupert's videos and what he's been up to on his Instagram. That's at @patdog_King Rupert Bear.
Let's have that again.
It's at @patdog_King Rupert Bear. It's mainly Northern General staff, to be honest, who follow him. But if anybody out there is listening and would like to follow him, then feel free. And it's nice because they get to see, what Rupert's up to in between, them working and being on shift. And obviously we can't always go at a particular time. And obviously a lot of the staff work different shifts. So it's nice for them to see him, even if he's not physically there. Although obviously I know a lot of people prefer that, understandably.
So there's a couple of shout-outs before we do his last request.
Yeah, so just before we put out this final request, it's a shout-out really to kind of all the areas and wards that we visit. But, particularly we do spend a lot of time on Firth 2 and certainly on their patio. That's become Rupert's patio. And we just have lots of really nice times on there. We see patients on there. We see staff on there. They absolutely love Rupert and love him to visit, and it just kind of makes a little bit of a change to the day, and especially when a shift can be quite stressful at times, understandably, it can just help, just kind of make them feel a little bit happier, even if it's just for those few minutes that they're seeing him.
Yeah, that's what we think on Sheffield Hospital Radio. Just take a few minutes out, if you can, obviously.
Yeah.
And it just makes you feel a lot happier, doesn't it? If it's a piece of music or if it's meeting Rupert or...
Yeah, anything at all. It's just something to aid, somebody's well-being.
Yeah.
And I think one thing that I do like, about kind of the different wards that I go to, they always do seem to really, work together well, and I'm very much about, a team kind of approach. We see that a lot, obviously, as well on Chesterman wards as well. And a big shout out to Reshma. She's one of Rupert's super fans. Bryony and the team on Chesterman too. They just absolutely love. They just love Rupert. So much so, actually, on Chesterman too, they've actually got they've got a big poster of him now as well. Firth 2 was a little bit jealous. So but that's getting sorted and hopefully being delivered tomorrow. So then they will be up to speed with that.
Just add one more request that we've received this afternoon, and that's from Paul Gibson, who's our regular collector, and he's been to the audiology department and he's seen Jane. So I'd just like to give a shout out to Jane. Thank you for everything you do down there at audiology.
Excellent. Oh, fantastic. Well, we've got a final request here on the collections, and this has been collected by Paul this week, and this is for Vicky. This is a patient at the Northern. We're sending our best wishes from the Vocal Local here at Sheffield Hospital Radio, in the hope you will be soon on your way home to loved ones, Vicky. And at Vicky's request, this is a belter, Bat Out of Hell.
But we're fast approaching the hour of 4 o'clock. Thank you ever so, Amy and Rupert, for being with us today. Pets as Therapy. It's been absolutely fantastic. Is there anything you'd like to add just before we finish?
Just thank you for having us. It's been lovely as always, and hopefully we'll not leave it for 6 months next time, and hopefully we'll have lots more exciting things to report going forwards towards Christmas.
It'll soon be here.
It will.
Best wishes to everybody. Thank you to his listeners. Thank you to Paul Gibson for his requests and those that's chatted to Paul. See ya. Ta-ra.